Becker here. Thanks for checking out Blotto Beatles. We are the world's leading inebriated interlocutors of the Beatles' past, present, and future, bringing you bi-weekly episodes where we discuss a single Beatles track to an excessive degree under an increasingly excessive quantity of alcohol, hopefully resulting in plastered proclamations and cockeyed conflicts and some suspect substantiation. I'm joined now and forever by my co-host, co-creator, and visionary of the show. He's a Lennon in the streets, but a Stu Sutcliffe in the sheets. My great friend, Tommy. How you doing, bud?
Hey, man, what's going on? I'm just hanging out here in Hamburg.
Tell the good people who joined us to check out this little teaser about why we're doing this.
So the reason why we're here, one of my favorite parts about being friends with the people who are on this podcast today and the people who hopefully will join us as guests in the future is that we get together, we have a few drinks, and you end up talking about those things. One of the things we always come back to is the Beatles. We have those spots where we all love the same things, and we have those spots where we disagree, and maybe for no other reason you disagree than you've had one too many beers. So I'm really excited to go through the next 200 plus songs with you guys, have a couple drinks, and go through this entire catalog of the Fab Four.
Amazing. Who else is in the studio with us tonight?
Oh, we got a very special person with us tonight in the virtual studio. He's here tonight. He's going to be here every night with us until he quits. And that is the George Martin of New England. We've got executive producer Scotty C with us. Really excited you're here, Scotty.
Woohoo!
Hey,
Scotty
I'm
C,
here.
How was your night, buddy? And what do you think about the Beatles?
Me? I love the Beatles.
Hey, that's good enough for us. For this preview, we've only got a few minutes to introduce the show to folks. So real quick, by way of introduction, I'm going to ask each of you a different question. The response should be a Beatle, alive or dead, in a new segment I'm introducing called Mind Games. In both of these questions, you have full current day knowledge of all things Beatles. I'm going to start with Scotty. Which Beatle would you most like to share a few whiskeys in a quiet London pub?
Ringo.
Interesting.
Wow. I think I just want to hang out with Ringo more than any of the other ones. Definitely.
And would you ask him Beatles stuff? Would you ask nerdy music things? Or would you just play it cool? Would you just be like hanging?
Oh, I would definitely play it cool. If he brought something up, I'd take him up on it. I mean, musically.
Strictly musically. Ringo, if you're listening, keep it strictly music with Scotty C.
There's peace, no love.
No, he seems fun. I think Ringo would be a great time to hang.
I think that's a great pick. Maybe it might be Tommy's pick for this next question. So again, I want to keep it pretty light and just giving everyone a taste of who we are. And I think this is a good expose. So Tommy, for you, it's 1970 and Let It Be has come out. So the totality of Beatles music is already in the world. You find yourself climbing a mountain with all four of the Beatles. Through some type of calamity, you are in a position that all four of them are clinging to you for life. You must drop one to save three. Who do you drop?
This is a tough call. And I think the easy choice here is probably Ringo, right? The drummer.
But you know everything about current day Beatles. You know that he has a long life ahead of him.
However, just out of like pure animosity for kind of how things ended, I think I'm going to say Paul.
Wow. And that's about all the time we have for that. And it's going to make this next segment a little awkward as we have special guest Paul McCartney wishing us luck on our new podcast. And here's a little bit of taste of what's to come.
I thought you were going to ask who I was going to eat. Like in a live scenario.
Do you have a different answer?
George.
No, George is like gamey.
Yeah.
First of all, I think Paul is. No, you know what? John is the softest member at some point of the Beatles, right? He gets a little
Right
fat.
around nowhere.
And yeah, the exact help era, John. He's a little tubby. Well, here's the thing. We're not doing a podcast called Sticky Drinkers, right? Where imagine we just spill Midori sours on ourselves. I'm not doing a Kiss cast, so I'm not doing a podcast. So I can't speak with authority on that one.
And I think that I always thought that this podcast would perfectly a B-cast is also what I call about a podcast that people talk about the Beatles. I call it a B-cast. So,
Blotto Beatles. Hey everybody, it's Tommy back with your Blotto Beatles teaser, sitting in the virtual studio again with Becker and DJ executive producer Scotty C. Here's the way Blotto Beatles works. We have very strict rules and guidelines we operate under. And what happens is before we start recording any episode, Scotty has messaged us with a pick for the week. He makes sure he alternates both albums and primary composers from any previous episode. Every week we spend Becker and I spend a few days kind of doing a deep dive into that episode, and then the evening we record, we get on the line a little early, we have a drink together, and we hit record. We are then ready to go deep, so deep into that song and rank it in a definitive list of Beatles tunes after you've had a few cocktails. We reserve the right at any moment to throw stones and then the next day to pull them right back in. And that comes right down to the list. We're going to have some regrets about where these songs place on the list, and that's okay. For us, in an episode, the big surprise comes in the evening's magical mystery word. That word is picked by Scotty C. If either Becker or I utter the magical mystery word, the show immediately comes to a halt, much akin to your Pee-wee's Playhouse word of the week. And Becker and I have to take a shot that we have on standby. I believe Scott also partakes in that shot. Finally, as a free gift to you, the listener, our fans, we end every episode with a karaoke rendition of the song we've discussed. That karaoke track will be completed at the height of our inebriation. It has been pre-recorded by producer Scotty C and our good friend RB, who we'll talk more about during the episodes. So with that, we want you to reach out to us. We want you to correct us once these episodes get going. We want to continue these discussions, and we welcome that. We're looking forward to having you here on Blotto Beatles.
Do you guys think that sort of with this song and then I'm So Tired and then all of the Bennon stuff that like we should have called him Yawn Lennon because he's so sleepy? You want to do the list on?
What's the list?
The notion of us keeping a list?
Oh, yeah, right. Sometime in the 1960s, the Beatles were in negotiations to film their own version of the famous Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I think that Ringo Starr as Gollum.
I think it's a great point. Who is going to be Gollum? None other than our own Mal Evans, I think, is the perfect Gollum.
I wish that George and Ringo did a duet. That would have been perfect.
Words no one has ever said.
What? Where are we in this episode?
I think we're done.
You're the producer. So that's just a little tipple of what we're working on now. We're going to be bringing you some full episodes very soon. So please stay tuned. We have a long, long way to go. The Beatles wrote a lot of tunes, and I expect
I
this
would
show...
argue it's a long and winding road, my friend, that we're embarking on here.
And I hope the show evolves as it goes, and hopefully some of that's with your input. But in the meantime, hey Tommy and Scotty,
Yeah, man. What's up?
What you got?
are you willing to commit here today, in front of all these people listening, that if they spare
Oh, is this
us,
the proposal? Finally, that's where we are.
unfortunately, I have only one rose to give this season.
Okay.
Oh man.
If these good folks listening out there, if they spare any of their valuable time, I want to make a promise to them, and I don't know if you know what I'm going to say, but can we promise to commit to completing this project, that we make 200 and something episodes and see this thing through?
You want to get through the whole catalog?
Let's get close.
This group, this trio of gents here, we're going to do this?
I couldn't do it with anyone else.
Hey, you know what?
I agree.
Here's what I'm going to say. As they would have said back in Liverpool, the four lads together, I'm chuffed up about this one, guys. Let's do it.
I don't know
Scotty
what that
C,
means.
do you know any good British slang to use?
I don't know. I want to be chuffed. I feel like that's a good thing.
It's a great thing. It means thrilled to bits, happy, delighted.
Yeah. I'm chuffed.
Let's do it. Next 200. Let's do
Fantastic.
it, guys. I got this. You got this. Let's talk some Beatles.
So please consider this your invitation. Roll up and join us every other week. You can find us on your favorite podcast app of choice. We are Blotto Beatles. Also, check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Blotto Beatles, or go long form and hit us up at blottobeatles@gmail.com. Tell us what you think of the episodes, what else you want our tipsy takes on.
Peace and love. Peace and love.